Hi guys, welcome to Khong Driving, and today we have a special guest. Meet Nick Loong.
Hi.
Okay, Nick is one of our viewers and he requested to come along for a ride. And so guys, we are going to try to bring one person a month to come and join us on our drives. And Nick is a little bit younger than I am. And sorry guys and girls, he's happily married. And he is actually a designer, so he's actually a very highly skilled and technical person. And we are, what car are we in? This is the Audi Q3. Okay, it's a 1.4 liter front wheel drive, and it has the same engine as the Q2, but this is the older version of engine, yeah. Horsepower is the same, 150 horsepower, and front wheel drive only on the Q3, and but the gearbox is different from the Q2. This is a 6-speed DCT. Okay, Audi calls it a DCT. Volkswagen call it a DSG, but they are the same. So I'm not sure whether this is wet or dry, but I think it could be a wet clutch. Okay, so the Q3 and the Q2, there's a bit of a difference, yeah. The Q3 is a bigger vehicle, and I would say this is in the same category as the Pt.1. This Q3 is actually the newest version, and it's about a year old. It was launched sometime last year. Yeah, we are in the rumble strip, so we just wait a while. And so this has a much longer wheelbase, yeah. It's 2680, so which is a bit shorter than 2.7. And on an SUV is considered actually quite big. Just as a comparison, the CX-5, Mazda CX-5 has a wheelbase of 2700, I think, yeah. Because I'm just rattling these numbers off. Sometimes you make mistakes, but I think that's the wheelbase for the CX-5. So this is 2680, which is 20 mm shorter. That's about 4/5 of an inch, about this much. Okay, that is the wheelbase only. So overall length may vary a bit more because of the overhang in the front and the back. But anyway, we are near the exit, and let's just check. Okay, this one has got drive select, and we are going to go to dynamic mode. They have off-road, which we're not going to use. Comfort, then they have
There's no sports button.
no sports button.
Oh.
They have auto and dynamic.
Okay.
But there is a S. I'm now on S mode.
Oh.
So this is the sports button.
Oh, this is sports button.
Yeah, so this is the gear shift. You just press one time, it goes to D.
Okay.
So you see how the car became very sedate.
Yeah.
Then you press one time, it goes into S.
Oh.
And if you push to the left, it becomes manual. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll use manual, or shall we use S? Okay, let's just try manual lah. Okay, then of course it's got paddle shifters. Thank you very much, Audi. Now the Q2 didn't have it. The Q3 has it. The Q2 has got cylinder on demand, COD, or in other words, they have cylinder shut off for cylinder 2 and 3. This one doesn't have it. Fuel economy is slightly worse off in this than in the Q2. Of course, the Q2 is a lighter car. Okay, anyway, let's just check out the handling. We are in turn 1, and we have early birds using more than the lane. But here we go. Okay, this is a 1.4 liter engine, yeah, 150 PS with 250 Newton meters of torque, and we'll take this car on the outside and see how it feels. Quite neutral, very nice.
No understeer.
Not yet. Okay, actually understeer is partly due to the car and also partly due to the driver. So for example, if you set up the car properly and transfer the weight to the front before the turn, then it won't understeer long.
Wow.
And you go at the right speed.
Serious, man. I watch in YouTube and I'm here now. This is like times 3. Now the thrill is times 3. So when I watch on YouTube, it's like
It looks slow, right?
looks a bit, wow, but here it's like times 3. Wow, look at the speed.
Shh, we only go at 60 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, right. Seriously, this is like times 3, times 4.
But you seem pretty cool, man.
I like fast driving.
Okay, so anyway, whilst on the road, we still have to watch out for other road users, yeah? The reason why I choose this road for testing is, first of all, it's got all the features I want for testing a car, and also it's safe because you can see we are all going in one direction. So here is where traction control came in, and it just retarded the engine.
For SUV, this handles really well.
Yeah.
Oh, cannot imagine.
There's a bit of mist, but the lights are on. Okay, we just slow down a bit.
Doesn't feel like an SUV.
Oh, these are what you call crossovers. Like this is something you buy when you cross over from sedan to a SUV. So they try to build it very much like a car. It's not as high as the truck, you know.
Yeah.
And in fact, the build is very much like a car.
Clipping all the airbags.
Yeah, this is using the lines.
Yeah. Wow, the G-forces. Good. Yeah.
So this car actually is very agile. So guys, this is the first time I'm driving this car in anger, yeah?
Uyo. In anger.
Yeah, they call it driving it hot lah.
Aggressively.
Yeah, aggressively.
Wow. Hardly any tire squid.
Yes, we actually have to select the speed. Your entry speed is important. Your weight transfer is important. Your steering movement is important. Generally, untrained drivers turn the steering too much. So actually what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to feed the steering into the turn. And not turn too much. When you turn too much, then the steering angle is excessive, then you get understeer, no? And you get a tire squeals. So I can make the tire squeal and make it sound very exciting and very fast and very dangerous, you know.
Yeah.
So
But no need for those drama.
yeah, no need for the drama because people will be able to see whether you're fast or not fast. Making tire squeal is actually a sign of lack of skill. Okay, so this one you gotta be careful. Some people turn right here. Okay, he's not, but he's in the right hand lane. So okay, he's not moving. Wow, is that a FK8?
I don't think so. I think it's a
Civic.
souped up Civic.
Okay, you don't have the 3 pipes.
Yep.
I've seen 3 false pipes. It does have the 3 pipes.
False one.
Yeah. Okay, we're at the roundabout, and the marker is here. All right, Nick.
Yeah,
How was that?
fantastic.
Okay, we're going for roti canai.
Okay.
So we don't drink water. My viewers, if I don't drink water, they say I'm not enjoying the car. But guys, drinking or not drinking water has nothing to do with whether I enjoy the car. Because sometimes the air is dry, and then my throat gets dry, it gets hard to speak. And so I drink a bit of water before I start the downhill run. Alright guys, we are on the way back from Gotong Jaya, going into the roundabout, and with me still is Nick Loong. And so Nick has taken the ride up. How do you feel?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Was I dangerous?
No.
Okay, good. So guys, those of you heard it from him, I'm not a dangerous driver. Okay, so we're now on the way down, and we are in sport mode and auto, and we're gonna take a more leisurely drive down. This is to give a semblance of how the car drives. Well, if you can drive fast, you can drive slow lah. So basically this car handles very well. The secret here is that the rear suspension is a multi-link suspension. So I can tell you where this comes from. The Q3 comes from the Audi family, which is part of the Volkswagen family, and this the rear suspension, from what I saw, is modeled after what is happening in the Golf and the Passat and all that. So well, they share resources, and the technology that is learned from building millions of cars also gets into the Audi cars. Yeah, well, Audi is not quite happy about being associated with Volkswagen, but well, they are part of the same group. And well, the suspension look very much like a Golf, so there you go. Anyway, whatever it is, it does credit to the Q3 because it handles very well. Okay, the tires help lah. These are Bridgestones, and they, what was the brand again? Alenza, is it? Alenza. That's a new model name for the tire. Okay, we just passed the bus first, and then we have a bit of a clear road in front, and we can take a bit of a line. Okay, I'm using the pedal shifters with the S mode. Just now we were on M mode, and in S mode what happens is the gear changes are more, what do you call, they change at a higher RPM. Okay,
So this is leisure.
yeah, this is leisure.
Not for the faint-hearted lah.
Nope. My wife falls asleep if I drive too slow. But of course, we still have to respect other road users lah. So the pedal shifters still work. Down to second, and we make sure that he doesn't understeer. Then we go. Oh, it shifts up by itself. You can take a bit of a line here. So this is one of my favorite parts of the hill climb. Bit of a lift off to get the weight transferred, then you pendulum the car through, and we have to slow down. For the cars here,
Did it downshift on itself, or
no, I shifted down with the pedal shifters.
Okay.
So that's one thing good about having pedal shifters. You have that extra flexibility, but it shifts up by itself. That was an upshift by itself. So in a case like this, it's better to let it shift by itself, because then we let the computer decide when is the optimum moment to shift gears based on the RPM. So if you shift up by yourself, you are probably shifting up a bit too early. So there are some of the viewers who say, hey, you are killing the engine. No, actually it's not. This engine is made to rev up to 6,000 plus. Yep. And it will shift up before the rev limit is up. And that's what they designed the engine for. And if you want to use all of the 150 PS, you got to take it right up to the top. Because when you're driving at slower speeds, you're only using maybe, okay, at this moment maybe we're using 10 horsepower, you know, and horsepower goes up as you rev up. Okay, so downhill we are again putting the brakes to the test, and this is a very good hill to test brakes, and if they fail, they fail. On one of my own personal cars, the brakes actually faded here because I didn't change the brake fluid for a very long time. I forgot, so that was my mistake. And so what happened was the brake fluid actually boiled. And you know why brake fluid boils? Because brake fluid attracts water. Oh, the dogs are here. Hi. And over time, as you go through the night and morning, you know, and condensation inside the bottle, the air surrounding the brake fluid, on top of the brake fluid, the moisture condenses, and then it changes into water, becomes like dew. Then it drips into the brake fluid, and the water is in the brake fluid. So what boils is actually the water boiling.
I see.
And when it boils, it creates bubbles. That's aeration. So this is a hydraulic system, you see. So when there is aeration, then you don't get any braking feeling at all. So you get brake fade and brake failure lah. And also that is the brake fluid. The brake pad itself can overheat. So right now the brakes are a little hot, so stopping distance is affected a little bit. But if I just cool down a bit in 500 meters or 1 kilometer, you'll be okay again. That's why they invented ventilated disc. So now I'm taking easy on the brakes. It was just a little bit hot. It hasn't failed yet, but a good driver can feel it. Then you just sort of cool down the brakes. And at this last corner is when the buses brakes and lorry brakes can fail, because it's got accumulated heat. So as a bus driver, you have to use a lower gear to what you call to use engine braking a little bit to prevent brake overheat. Sorry, because I'm concentrating on the car and the truck in front and talking at the same time. Men are not good at multitasking. So anyway, let's do a wrap up. So overall, my opinion of this car is good. If you ask me, is the 1.4 liter engine enough? Yes, it's enough for about 95% of the people who want a car like this. It's enough. For me, it's enough, but not really enough. I know there's a 2 liter version. Of course I want the 2 liter version. Why would I want the 1.4? Yeah. But for the ordinary guy who likes an Audi and can pay 270,000, yeah, this is a good car. I think the 2 liter will be a bit more. I don't know how much more. But well, 270,000 is actually out of my league lah. But do I like the car? Price aside, I like the car very much. And okay, just to share a little bit, my fuel economy coming back from Penang to KL yesterday, that included a lot of fast driving, a lot of stuck in traffic driving. It took me 4.5 hours to get back to KL from Juru, yeah. So, but the good news is my overall fuel consumption was something like 10.1 liters per 100. Now, on a turbocharged car of 1.5 tons, 1470 kilos, it's actually quite respectable. Of course, I also did a fuel consumption run, and I got some very good numbers. I can't remember what it is, but it's 5 point something. So watch out for that video. Okay, so let's hear it from Nick, who is, he didn't drive, a passenger, and he experienced the YS Khong driving up the hill and down the hill. So what do you think of the car first?
The car performs well.
Yeah.
But it's just I personally find that the seats are a little bit small, a little bit tight on the back.
Really?
Backrest. Yeah.
Hey, there's a lumbar support at the bottom or the side, on the side of the seat.
Okay.
In front of the fore and aft adjuster, there's a round little thing.
Okay.
You press the thing and see the sides. There are 4 corners you can press. Does it change the lumbar support?
The lumbar, but it doesn't tighten up at the side.
Yeah, this one just moves in and
just
out.
move the lumbar.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so
This fella is used to sports car, and that's why he want all the side backing.
no, but for this class of car, I think it's alright.
Yeah, okay.
The performance is fantastic for 1.4.
Yeah, actually, it's a very good engine.
But the driving is fantastic.
I didn't feel the seat was. I think maybe your size is a little bit bigger than me. So for me, it held me quite well. There are some SUVs where I've talked about it. You know, I'm sliding left and right because they're actually made for bigger people.
Yeah.
So being a car maker also quite difficult. They got to decide what average size of person should I build a seat for.
Precisely.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they had a little bit more wing support,
on the
it would be good. Yeah.
Be better. But the driving, like I say, is you guys got to imagine times 3, times 4 of the thrill that you experience in a video.
Yeah, in the video it's always slower.
Yeah.
And
so in real life it's actually times 3 or 4. Yeah.
But actually the car is a tribute to the car. At no time during the drive did I feel uncomfortable or even out of control or even like concerned, that we are going to fly off the road or anything like that. Everything was under control. But anyway, guys, the key here, and I think Nick will agree, is to be in control. Yeah.
Yes.
If your threshold of control is higher, you can actually have a higher limit in terms of driving. So anyway, we've talked too much. And anyway, thanks Nick for being with us and for the thumbs up on the driving especially.
Especially the driving, and the car is good.
Okay then, so guys, if you like our videos, please give it a like and share with your friends. And if you have your own subscribers, please ask them to subscribe too. We need all the subscribers we can get. So I'm on the next push. We want to try to get to a higher number, so please ask your friends to subscribe. And so Nick is one of the first few people we're taking up for a drive. And if you think you want to come for a drive with us, do get hold of us, and you can write to us on our website. The email address is upntmedia@gmail.com. Upntmedia is UPANTE, that's upnt, media, MEDIA, @gmail.com. So write to us there and give us some details about yourself, and we do a lucky draw, see who gets picked to go for our drive. Alright, of course you've got to live around the KLPJ area lah. If you live in Penang, it's going to be very, very difficult because we got to get up early in the morning. So okay, that's it guys for the time being. Bye bye and see you again.